Welcome to Start With a Win, where we give you the tools and lessons you need to create business and personal success. Are you ready? Let's do this.
I call that one the Adam Shuffle. That's right.
And coming to you from Brand Viva Media headquarters in Denver, Colorado, it's Adam Conto's Start With a Win. Producer Mark, how you doing?
Hey, fantabulous.
I love fantabulous.
That's right.
So that's like fantastic and fabulous at the same time.
That's right. All together.
Twice as good.
That's right. How are you been?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm
Staying productive.
I'm staying productive.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but it's a struggle to choose between productive and busy, isn't it?
It is. You know, busyness is just an excuse for laziness.
Whoa. You've been listening to Start With a Win.
Yeah, I don't like when people say busy.
I try to either.
I try to avoid it. You know, when it's like, how are things going? It's like, okay, I have a lot of things going on.
I'm so busy.
Yeah, and it just annoys the crap out of me. So
why do you think that is? Is it because they just don't understand how to appropriately deal with their time?
I think it probably is, you know, because I feel like if you are productive and you manage your time properly, you're not busy. You're just activated and accomplishing things.
Ooh, activated and accomplishing things. So you're focused on what you've planned to do and taking the actions in order to facilitate that.
Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, well, how is that a negative thing? Oh, I'm busy. It's like, what? Like too busy to watch Netflix or too busy to scroll through Facebook for an hour or
right.
Too busy to watch TikToks, you know? It's like you're getting work done, you're having success. Like, why is this a negative thing?
Well, you've got all these time killers like what you're talking about. It was interesting a few years ago. I don't know what the validity to this number is. It's probably even more than this by now. But you know, when you talk about people scrolling, thumb surfing or whatever, climbing the ladder with their thumbs, the average person, and I believe this is like a 2016 or 2018 number, the average person climbs the height of the Statue of Liberty, 305 feet every single day on social media.
With their thumbs?
Just
1 inch at a time?
Can you imagine that?
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But what else can you get done in that amount of time that it takes you to drag yourself 305 feet with your thumbs?
I'm sure you could accomplish a lot.
When you think about it that way, you're like, whoa, I got a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, totally.
You do if you make the choice.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about that today. You know, you were talking to me earlier. You're like, hey, let's talk about time management. And I love the term time management, but I actually I like the term choice management even better. Because back to your statement of, are you busy or productive? Wait a sec. That's busy is you're a victim. Productive is a choice,
That's
right?
Yeah.
So let's make these choices.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that you spent a lot of time thinking about this and you put a lot of energy into kind of a system and process that you've developed. So maybe let's talk through that and see what comes out of it.
Okay. Well, it's fascinating because, I mean, first of all, this will drive you crazy. If you're always trying to hammer out this structure and, oh my gosh, I got to be on time. I got to do this. I got to do that. By the way, I don't like being late. You know that.
I know that.
You know, it's when I'm walking in the studio or a meeting or whatever, you're like, I know he's on time.
Or 5 to 10 minutes early.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Early's on time.
Yeah.
You know, on time's late. Late is inexcusable.
That's right.
All right.
It just shows me that you don't value my time.
Ooh. Yeah. That's sharp. I like that. So, but you're right. I mean, when you're late to meet with somebody else, that means you do not value their time, unfortunately. So let's talk about our time here real quick. Because I do write down what I'm doing. I have a very, very strict schedule that I adhere to. And I'm also very particular about what I put on it. So the first part of this, the first groundwork that we're going to lay when it comes to being productive versus being busy is saying no. Saying no. I mean, no is probably the most powerful word that you can possibly learn, but you have to learn to say it correctly because how did we grow up? No was like this, I'm attacking you because I don't want you to do or continue something. And your parents would be like, no,
Can I? No, you can't.
Exactly. You're like, I'm getting beat down. No. Or, you look at your dog, and what do people do when they get elevated in their emotions? They start yelling it. No.
Snapping. No.
Exactly. But what if we use no as a tool, a tool of gratitude and a tool of really appreciation for our time, if you look at it that way. So no is really a tool of appreciation, because what it does is it saves your time for what's best. Because when you say no to things, you're saying yes to other opportunities. But when you say yes to everything, you're saying no to the opportunities that you need to be selective about. Really, it's kind of an interesting paradigm when we talk about it. And I talk about this with my kids because some of them have difficulty saying no. They're like, my friends are saying, let's go out. I'm like, well, what are you telling them? Okay. And you go, well, why? Well, because they're my friends. I don't want to say no to them. Well, your friends need to be said no to, because if you can be the very best you can be, then you can go have the most fun with them, because you don't have to worry about the other items that are in the back of your mind. So I know that was kind of the long way around, but when you say no to just impulse, and really that's what emotional maturity is, or choice management is, impulse control. Hello, everybody. Don't be impulsive when it comes to your time. We get to say yes to the things that matter.
That's right.
It's fascinating when you think about that. No allows you to say yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It seems so counterintuitive.
It is. But the reality is we're not shooting for busy, we're shooting for productive here.
That's right.
And all this, this is obviously in Start with a Win, my book. But the reality is, I want you to think about this every single day. And like our last guest we had on the show, Rick Hogg, he talked about writing down your daily tasks in your notebook. I've got my little notebook.
I like that one. That's like the pocket size
one.
The
pocket
it's just
size.
Always back there ready to.
That's it. Yeah. You're like, bam, I need to write something down. Like, I'm going to do this, or no, don't do that. It's good to remind yourself of things not to do as well as things to do, because as soon as you write down, I'm not doing that, guess what? You've just made a commitment. Mm-hmm. Don't let it slip in there. Like, if you think about picking up your phone and flipping on social media, pick up your notebook and write, I am not going to get on social media until 6 p.m. or whatever, and I'll give myself a half hour. Whoa. Time commitment right there. Just made a contract with yourself. Don't break it. So how do we say no? How do we say yes? The first way to make these commitments in your time, in your impulse control, in your choice management, really is to take an audit of your day. And this is interesting. Nobody likes the word audit, but let's take a snapshot of it.
Yeah.
Let's call it that. Okay?
A snapshot.
A snapshot.
Okay, I like that better than audit.
Yeah, fun snapshot. Yeah.
A fun snapshot. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So
the IRS is like, we're just going to do a fun snapshot of your finances.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
But so let's if you go to I think the my calendar is up on the adamcontos.com.
Yep.
So if you guys want to go there, you can download this. It's my daily time audit sheet. And it's 2 pages. The first one is the today is daily calendar. And then the second one is a circadian rhythm tracker. I'm going to talk about that briefly here because we want to know when we're most effective. That's the best way to do it. But ultimately, if you take a look at this daily calendar, it talks about a quote for the day. I love a quote. Go find yourself a good quote. And write it down here. Why? Because you're going to live that quote during the day if you write it down. It's a commitment to yourself. And then a productivity tip, like maybe it's say no more than you say yes, or maybe it's get the little things done quick, or maybe it's don't forget about XYZ, register your car, or, write down your finances, or double check your grades in school, whatever it might be, whatever you're doing, give me a productivity tip. So just what we're doing is we're just stimulating our mind to be productive here.
Yeah, my quote for today was, don't let your bad days trick you into thinking you have a bad life.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Good. So one of my favorite quotes that I repeatedly reuse is the Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a habit. That's what we're doing here.
That's right.
Building habits, time habits.
That's right.
So so when we dig deeper into this, take And what I recommend is everybody download this, print off 7 copies, and write down what you do every day for 7 days. And you might be like, whoa. And this is pretty revealing.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we have this list of time from basically 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And every half hour we write down what we did, and then P or NP. P is productive, NP is not productive. Remember back to this productive thing? Busy, productive.
Mm-hmm.
So you can even say not productive would just be busy work.
Yep.
But ultimately, is it productive or is it not productive is the big question that we have to hold ourselves accountable to. Now, what is accountability, real quick? Accountability is witnessing without judgment. So we're not judging ourselves based on this. We're just witnessing what we write down. And, for instance, if it says, what is your weight, which, it doesn't say on here, what is your weight? But let's say you write down the number of your weight. You're not judging it. You're not writing fat, okay? Or over, or,
above average.
Yeah, you're not writing down a judgment statement here.
Right.
It would be a number. If you were writing down your weight, it would be a number. It's accounting. It's like how many dollars are in your wallet. It's a number. It's just accounting for that number. And this is accounting for what you did and whether or not it was productive or not productive. So we're not judging here. There's no judgment. This is no judgment zone. Although I will tell you, if you have no productivity, I'm going to be a little bit judgmental.
Yeah.
Because you're really hurting yourself. So we've got that on there where you write down what you did each hour. You don't have to cram stuff in here, but take a good shot of it and see, what am I doing? Am I doing good? Am I doing bad? And then the right column of this is kind of your to-dos. And I filled in a few for people. Did you exercise? Yes or no? What was the intensity, 1 through 10? Because I don't want you to just show up. I want you to show up with some vigor, with some intensity to really break a sweat, to pump up those muscles, to push yourself to your limits, things like that. That's what exercising is. It's not going through the motions. It's making yourself better.
Right.
So list that out. And then, of course, there's one for your nutrition and some of your macros, protein, carbs, calories, if you track those things. How many ounces of water you drink. Everybody, by the way, on this podcast should be drinking over a gallon of water a day. You're like, that's a lot. It's not a lot after you've done it for a week and you're like, I'm thirsty, because you're just thirsty all the time.
Right. Yeah, you got your big jug of water here always.
I got the big jug. Yep. So, and I easily surpass a gallon of water. I'll be done drinking a gallon of water by 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
It's easy too if you exert yourself a little bit first thing.
Totally.
Then you're thirsty.
Well, if you're working out and you take a 32 ounce bottle or something with you into the gym, there's 32 ounces already. And you're a quarter of the way there.
Right.
So you're almost done with, by the time you're done with your morning after you have a protein shake or whatever. I mean, for crying out loud, you're 50 ounces.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It's not hard if you work on it. And then also to do for your family itself. I want to know what you want to do for your family, what you want to do for yourself. Something you should be talking about with your family. Love. I love you. How you doing? How can we do better for whatever, XYZ, help you do better on your grades, your school, your exercise. How do you feel about it? Whatever it is.
Yeah. One of our guests, Misty Lone.
Yeah.
She had said, asking at dinner, if you're all together, specifically, what are you grateful for today?
Yes.
Something that's specific to today, which helps you, again, get out of that. I'm thankful for my house, my car, it's
totally
being specific about it, which I think is powerful.
So actually at the bottom of that sheet, I am grateful for. So, wrap up your day at the bottom of that sheet. And I have some room for some other goals and things like that. And in weekly goals, daily tasks, things like that. Just some empty space that you can take notes. But at the bottom in the green is the end of the day. When you're celebrating, here are my successes. Were you productive? Be honest. I'm grateful for. And then I did this for myself and my family today. I'll tell you, when we reflect on the things that we do for other people and for ourselves, we get a good dopamine hit, a good feel good, because it's an accomplishment for ourselves. And also it reminds you why you're a good person. Because sometimes we see the worst in society. All you got to do is turn on the news, read the newspaper, whatever it might be, read some website, and you're like, ugh, Why? Because they put the bad junk on there because that's what gets eyeballs.
And the endorphins going in your body that
Right.
creates addiction to the cycle of negativity. And,
Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, do this, be grateful, and understand it. Now, the second page of this is where the magic happens.
I like magic.
Magic. I'm using my magic hands right now. There we go. So the idea behind this is, when are you the most productive? When is your brain and your body functioning together to get stuff done? That's a good question. And there's 3 ways of measuring this. So we have the first way, which is focus. You know, obviously how distracted are you versus how intently looking at it, how focused are you on it, on a scale of 1 to 5. How much enthusiasm? How much enthusiasm are you excited about it? And the last one is how much energy. Can you feel the energy going? I mean, are you able to bring all these things together? Because, I mean, ultimately, this comes down to willpower and focus combined together in here to really give your best effort towards this particular thing. This is called your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is, when are you most effective with these things? And then what we do is, as we measure these, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., call it. And I started at 6 a.m. on that. I started at 7 a.m. on the other, because I want to know how you feel when you wake up. If you get, most people get up at roughly 6. So how do you feel when you get up versus, the end of the day? And ultimately, it's kind of fun because you can look at this and go, hey, over this week, this time and this time, I was the most effective. I had these 3 ranked the highest. Guess what? What do you put in there? Those are the things that you want to make the most from. So maybe they're money making, maybe they're productivity items. I wouldn't put your workout in there, because your workout, you can fit one of these other places when you can go physically exert yourself intentionally. Right. But I want your focus and your enthusiasm and your energy all together in these areas. Typically, people have, call it 3 to 5 hours a day when they come up with this. Identify those and then go back to that page 1 and figure out what needs to be the most productive, what makes me the most money, does the best for my business, my family, my relationships, whatever I'm trying to work on, and put those items in those circadian rhythm times. So that's how we take and manage our time. We start with no, back there from being busy, to what should we be working on? Let's document it and account for it, and let's figure out when we're the best at it. And then guess what? You get the most done, the most effectively, in the right amount of time. And then you also get all the garbage out of your day, and you actually have some more time back. That's how you run your day.
There you go. Then you're no longer busy.
Yeah. And you actually find time to relax, to spend with your family, to go, ride your bike, I don't know, do whatever, read a book, make some music. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got time. You get options.
That's right. If you go to foolprooftimesystem.com, you can get that PDF download as well directly.
Foolprooftimesystem.com.
That's right. So head over there, grab that PDF, evaluate your time, and manage it, and move from busy to productive, and starting with a win. All right.
That was productive, Mark.
That was very productive. Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome, Mark.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Foolprooftimesystem.com. Head over there, grab that PDF. And until next time, remember, start with a win.